Well, straight to our top focus. The Siddaramaiah government does it yet again, less than a month after anti-Hindi stir rocked Karnataka. Now, Siddaramaiah-led Congress government has constituted a 9-member committee to design a separate flag for the state. Is Karnataka going the Kashmir way?
The tricolour, for which a sportsperson plays, for which a soldier fights and dies. But is regional identity politics set to trump our national identity? That's the attempt being made in Karnataka. The Karnataka government has set up a panel that will explore how the state can legally have its own separate flag. The 9-member panel includes bureaucrats and academicians. It will also suggest a design for a state flag.
The constitution, which is prohibiting a state to have its own flag, any provision in the constitution? Have you come across any provision in the constitution?
No, sir, there is a...
Did BJP people come across the provision? Then why they are raising?
Why before election is this divisive politics?
The election will be in the month of April, May, not now, not tomorrow.
Karnataka state has demanded that they should have a separate flag. After Kashmir, this is Karnataka's flag, state flag. After Kashmir, this is the second state, sir, Karnataka.
It is not possible.
This is in Karnataka, we are making it and legalizing it. There won't be a dividing thing. It is a state issue. That's a national issue. It is there. And if it is, everybody wants it, and if that legalize, that will have its own sanctity and identity.
Karnataka government, for the election purpose, for vote bank politics, is playing a very dirty game. That's what is happening in Karnataka. Maybe the Kannadigas will against me, but still, I personally feel that it's totally against India, the integrity of India, the unity of India.
Right now, it's only Jammu and Kashmir that has a separate flag. But that is because of the special status it has within the constitution. Doesn't Karnataka's demand go against the spirit of federalism?
हर स्टेट के लिए अलग झंडे की कोई प्रोविजन नहीं है संविधान में. जम्मू कश्मीर की बात अलग है. जम्मू कश्मीर में जो भी मतलब कुछ बात होती है उसको हम मिटाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, लेकिन कर्नाटक राज्य अगर इस तरह की मांग करता है तो ये मुझे लगता है कि अच्छी बात नहीं है.
The demand for this flag comes close on the heels of an anti-Hindi stir in the state. With Karnataka elections just a few months away, has the CM decided that vote-catching regionalism and parochialism is more important for him than a united India? With Nolan Pinto in Bengaluru, Bureau Report, India Today.
You know, the question now is, what was Siddaramaiah doing for so many years if he wanted to even bring this? One thing is settled, of course, there is no prohibition under the constitution. If the state wants to have its own flag, they can. There is a flag code that they have to adhere to. The national flag comes first, and of course, under it, they can use that. But this now seems as, you know, the story was also telling you that it is just a vote-catching gimmick by Siddaramaiah government. In 2012, when the BJP was in office, the state government had told the Karnataka High Court at that point of time that it had not accepted suggestions to declare red and yellow as the Kannada flag. Let me just quickly get a sense from our constitutional expert. G.C. Malhotra is the former Secretary General, Lok Sabha, and a constitutional expert who is joining us on the broadcast. So before we get into the political tug of war, just explain to our viewers, is there a provision in the constitution? Can a state have its own flag? Jammu and Kashmir is a different case. Other than that, can other states have their own flags?
Now, for the moment, let us not talk about the constitution. I'll talk about it a little later when the country is rejoicing on one tax, one India, and when Jammu and Kashmir, which has a separate flag, has also voted in favor of one tax, one India. It is strange that now states should have should be clamoring for a different flag like that of Jammu and Kashmir. In fact, the effort should be to have only one flag, national flag, even in Jammu and Kashmir. The Congress government has done it. Now they say it is a federal structure, and in a federal structure they have the supremacy to legislate. Now where do they legislate? In a state list, in the union list, in the concurrent list. A quick glance, I could not find any entry in the list where they can legislate on a flag. Article 370 about Jammu and Kashmir is separate, but having a separate flag will be just having encouragement to the regional issues.
So that's of course the question that we will be taking up with the political parties. But what I wanted to understand, constitutionally, where do they stand? Do they even have the power to have their own flag?
This is what I told you. I quickly had a glance on the 3 entries of the list. Union list, state list, concurrent list. I could not find any entry for a state where they can legislate on a flag, a separate flag.
Let me just read this out to you.
Would in fact be against the national code also.
Yes, let me just read this out to you. This is the 1994 judgment of the Supreme Court citing S.R. Bombay versus Union of India. In this case, the Bombay case, the Supreme Court had said that federalism is a basic feature of the Constitution and states are supreme in their sphere. This being the constitutional position, there is no prohibition in the Constitution for the state to have its own flag. Now, going by this, it seems that Karnataka possibly, constitutionally, are they, on the right side of the Constitution, or there are certain other things that we don't understand?
Now, what you have quoted, the Bombay judgment of the 1994 Supreme Court states about the federal structure. But what you have stated that there is no constitutional bar is an opinion of a former Attorney General.
Okay.
That is not the ratio of the Bombay case. Bombay case speaks only about the federal structure, supremacy of the federal structure. This is a basic feature of the Constitution.
Okay.
That is correct. But whether they can legislate and whether it would be all right to legislate, encouraging all other states and going against the primary purpose of one India, one flag, one India, one tax now, that would be against the nationalism cause also.
Right. So just stay on with me. We are now being joined by Dr. Nasir Hussain, spokesperson of the Congress Party. Dr. Hussain, thank you so much for joining us here on India Today. I have in my hand this notification of the Karnataka government of the 9-member committee that they have set out for exploring the possibilities for a separate flag for Karnataka. Let me ask you this, sir. What was the need? And let's just keep aside the confusion as far as the Constitution is concerned. Of course, there is no clear provision in the Constitution for or against it. But what was the need? Would I be wrong if I say that the BJP-led NDA government, the centre, chants One Nation mantra, and the Congress government is going the absolute other way? Already there are protests in Karnataka as far as Hindi is concerned. Aren't you fueling regionalism further?
See, I think there are two different issues which we are trying to take up here. One is that the BJP chanting One Nation mantra. I think the BJP is not as old as the freedom movement, where this entire theory of nationalism and the entire concept of one India took birth. So let us not talk about BJP, and let us not talk about their call for unity in this country and what they have been doing, how they have been dividing.
Okay, let's talk about the Congress government in Karnataka then.
Let us not get into it.
Yes.
Let me come to the other point. That's what. The point number 2 is, it is very clear that there was demand from various sections of people who wanted a flag for Karnataka. See, after 1956 unification of the reorganization of the state, every state has its own flag, not officially, unofficially they have flags they have emblems, they have anthems, they have animals, birds for the state level. So these flags are being used at the state festivals, not at the national festival, like at the Rajyotsava or maybe a state festival like Dasara or something. These flags are used. So there was a demand by a certain section of people to make it official. So what the Chief Minister has just done is, he has constituted a committee to look into it.
I will.
Whether legally can we do it.
I have to take a small break at this moment. I'm going to come back and I'm going to talk about this demand that you are talking about as far as people goes. You are saying that there is a demand from a certain section of people. Well, I'll come back to that. This demand that you're talking about is a 2-year-old demand, and that too only from two organizations. We are talking about whether Karnataka is taking its regional identity a step too far. Now I'm being joined by BJP's Amit Malviya. Mr. Malviya, if I can quickly come to you before I go back to Dr. Hussain on this. The BJP government in 2012 has opposed the same sort of a move that is being mooted now. What do you have to say about this committee that has been formed, and if the Karnataka government does decide to go for a separate flag, which as of now it seems is constitutionally permitted, what can the centre do in this?
Ankit, the matter of constitution and legality is a separate issue altogether. There are no precedents for this as far as law is concerned, but when the matter comes up for constitutional and legal scrutiny, it will be taken up. But the bigger question is why this committee has been formed now, and what is it that the Karnataka Congress government is trying to achieve after stoking fires of parochialism in the state. Is that the most important issue facing the state of Karnataka?
Yes.
And has Mr. Siddaramaiah believed that this is really the most pressing issue for the people of the state of Karnataka? There is one thing to work on Kannada pride, which
Yes.
every elected chief minister should.
Yes.
There is another thing to put all other important issues on the back burner and take up an issue which is emotive, which could potentially surcharge the atmosphere in the state.
Doctor-
And as the election nears, is it merely a ploy to garner votes?
Dr.
That is the
Hussain,
question
would you
the
like
people
to
of Karnataka
answer that?
today
I mean,
asking
is
the
it
Chief
a mere
Minister.
a ploy to garner votes? The elections are just round the corner as far as Karnataka is concerned. Now, why is it that Siddaramaiah government and the Chief Minister has suddenly woken up? This demand that you are talking about, this demand was made 2 years back. Only two organizations made this demand. Siddaramaiah did not act on it 2 years back. Now, just when elections are round the corner, he is trying to stoke this regionalism to garner votes. Do you, and you know, let me also remind you, the high command of the Congress, what we are learning from them, are also not happy with this. Why is Siddaramaiah, going ahead with this?
I don't know how you are privy to the High Command's understanding of the whole issue. That's a different thing. I'm glad that from morning till now, the BJP spokespersons on different channels, both from Karnataka and national spokesperson, now they have realized that there is nothing unconstitutional in this, there is nothing illegal in this. The constitution doesn't prohibit any state to have its own flag.
Sir, we established
so now
that.
they are coming
What
up
I'm talking
with this,
about is it
argument
political opportunism?
That it's a ploy to garner votes in the elections. No, I'm telling you, see, I'm coming to your point. See, and on your argument that this demand was made in 2014, see, there are number of delegations, number of memorandums, number of peoples across the state who have met the Chief Minister and us. And also now, when the union government tried to impose Hindi on that metro thing, which I know your channel also debated, I myself was there on that debate a couple of times. See, even after that, there are many people who came out and said that, came out and demanded. So now what the Chief Minister is trying to do, he has not taken a decision. He has asked the committee to look into it, whether it is constitutional or not, whether it is illegal or not. I think there is nothing harm in an elected Chief Minister being the head of the government to ask or form a committee to look into a particular demand.
Amit Malviya, they've just, as of now, that's the argument of the Congress. They're saying that we've just asked for a committee to look into it. It's not that we have passed any law. Just by forming a committee, is that going against the spirit of federalism? Would you like to take that?
Ankit, I want to make two quick points. One is on the Hindi signages. Let me remind the Congress spokesperson that it was in their government's rule under the UPA in 2011 when the new amendment to the National Transport Act was brought in, which mandated it to be a 3-language formula, including the regional language, English and Hindi as signages on all national highways and national carriers, including the metro.
Yes.
So they very conveniently forget that the genesis of the Hindi signages is really a legacy of the Congress party.
Okay.
And including Hindi is not imposition of Hindi. They must understand what imposition actually means. That's point number one. Point number two is that as far as constituting this committee is concerned, I again go back to questioning the timing of this committee and the need for this committee at this hour.
Yes.
I want to ask the Congress spokesperson that is this the biggest problem facing the state of Karnataka?
Yes.
There is drought in the state. There is massive traffic woe in the state of Bangalore, and nothing has been done to build the
Nasir
infrastructure
Hussain,
of
it
Bangalore.
seems that
What
the
is it
government
that
right at
Siddaramaiah
the end
thinks
of
that
their
he's going to
tenure
achieve
possibly
out
doesn't
of
have too much to show,
constituting a
and that
committee
is
like
why they are
this?
trying to stoke this regionalism, coinage just to get, just to put a black cloth on what they could not do. Let me also remind you, it was the Congress government and possibly the Congress government in Punjab and at the center as well that actually stoked the Khalistan fire. Now, you are doing the same thing. Aren't you playing with fire? Aren't you now once again running into the hands of the regional powers and making sure that the country is fragmented?
Ankit, I think you should understand when it comes to Khalistan and when it comes to LTT, we have lost 2 prime ministers to keep this country united. So let us not get into that debate. The point what the BJP spokesperson was making was that Karnataka doesn't have anything to show. I think your channel should also do some story. Out of 196 promises that were made in the manifesto in the election in 2013, we have already promised about 188 promises. We have implemented that. We have still 1 full year to go to complete another 8 to 10 promises. And as regards to drought, despite severe drought in Karnataka for the past 3 years, we have been demanding Mr. Modi, we have been requesting Mr. Modi, we have requested all the BJP MPs from Karnataka to ask Mr. Modi to waive off the loans. We waived the loans of the farmers in cooperative societies. We asked
They
them to waive
sent
off
1
loans
rupee
in
checks to the
national
farmers.
banks.
About
They didn't
what
do
you
that.
have done,
But despite
then what
that,
is the
whatever we
need
get
to
paid
stoke
on
this
it,
They sent
regionalism
1
fire?
rupee checks to the
Why are
farmers.
you opposed to Hindi? Why do you want this flag? If you are so confident about what you have done, then why are you trying to build an alternative narrative? Be confident, come out, speak about your achievements and ask voters to vote for that. Not because you want to please a certain section or a small regionalism section.
We are doing that. If there are demands, Ankit, if there are demands, there are popular demands in the state.
Okay.
We have to. It's an administrative procedure.
Before I wrap up, let me just twist it around a little bit. Amit Malviya, Shashi Tharoor of the Congress has said that he sees no problem in the concept of specific norms are set, like making it mandatory to host a state flag below the national flag. The Congress leader also adds, and this is very interesting, that if such demands are accepted and legalized in a systematic way, Jammu Kashmir having a separate flag will no longer be such an exception. Thereby, you're ruling out the BJP's exception and the demand will set a dangerous precedent. What do you have to say about that?
Ankit, I said in my opening comment that the constitutionality and the legality of something like this has to be evaluated in the context of our country, in the context of the situation that we face today. That is a matter of debate. What we are questioning here today is the timing of this committee. And secondly, is this the most important thing? I want to remind your viewers that it is the same Siddaramaiah government which sent 1 rupee compensation check to farmers. 1 rupee, can you believe it? Even the postage stamp is more than that.
Well, absolutely. It is absolutely unbelievable. Same way it is unbelievable that the same sort of a thing was done in Madhya Pradesh as well. Let's not go down that path as of now. But the important thing, Mr. Dr. Hussain, as of now is, and for people to understand, as the globe, as the world is shrinking, We are talking about a global village. It is time for India to unite. We are facing problems with China. On the other hand, with Pakistan, right now, different color flags or possibly a language that you can't agree upon is something that can be put on a back. Welcome back. More proof of Sasikala queen-size lifestyle in Bengaluru Central Prison. India Today has accessed a video from inside the jail where the convict is seen taking a leisurely stroll. India Today has accessed a copy of the second FIR, second report of the former DIG prison D. Rupa as well. Well, joining me now on the broadcast, live and exclusive, is a former top cop, Lieutenant Governor of Puducherry, Kiran Bedi. Ma'am, thank you so much for sparing time and speaking to us here on India Today. You are, I'm sure this is something not new for you. You are known as an upright officer. You had your run-ins with, a lot of people in the authority. When you see an upright officer there in Karnataka after being a whistleblower, after coming out and exposing the rot and the corruption in the prison system and the way the government has dealt with her, what does it remind you?
What you're seeing is reality. What you're seeing is reality, and you've been fortunate at the cost of her. She has paid her price. Because it's not going to be, she's earned a lot of admiration in people, but she's earned a lot of hostility in the services. So it's not going to leave her alone. It's not going to leave her comfortable. Because now she'll be in many positions, postings untouchable. So therefore, what you've seen is reality at her cost. She's been brave enough to put it in writing. She could have just verbally done it, but she's put it in writing. Something must have compelled her to put it in writing.
Yes.
Because once she puts it in writing, onus is on her now to defend it. She's established. So now it's others now go to disprove. Unfortunately, this whistleblower should have been welcomed. If you want corruption to go out, you should welcome courageous and bold officers.
Absolutely.
Who are daring to report.
Ma'am, proof after proof are now coming out. We have also accessed exclusive video in which Sasikala is seen taking a leisurely stroll. She's not wearing the prison clothes that are given to most prisoners. Whenever we be speaking to D. Rupa, there are certain voices from certain sections, those who are saying that she did not follow the procedure. You understand the procedure much better than most people. Was she wrong when she put it up? She did not speak to the media about it. Now she's been accused of leaking it in the media.
That's exactly what I'm saying. They're shooting the messenger instead of focusing on that she spoke, whether she spoke or you didn't. I say, let's look at the legality of that separately. But what she said is more important. Not whether she spoke to the media or not, but what has she reported? I think that was more important. Between the two, what is more important? Checking corruption, illegality in the prison, or her making it clear in the media, or who leaked it? That's a different story. But I think they've gone wrong in the priority. They should have gone to find out what she said. And after, she's a DIG. She's a part of the service. She's part of the establishment.
Yes.
She's one of you who has reported it. She's not an enemy. She's not a hostility. She's not another camp. And what is her intention? What is her intention on blowing the whistle?
Yes.
If this is what had remained the focus, you would have cleaned up the system by now. You would have put a standard operating procedure.
Absolutely.
You would have seen why the camera is not working. You would have seen actually whether she really had all those privileges which are being claimed. So instead of that, you have gone and said, why has it gone public? Why not?
Ms. Bedi,
even an RTI could have put it public.
Yes, I also wanted to understand from you. This is D. Rupa in Karnataka. There was a woman cop who took up, certain people of the ruling party in Uttar Pradesh. Both of them transferred, in the second breath. Is the system specially stacked against, especially the women officers, those who take a stand? Is there, a sense of patriarchy or some sort of a trouble, especially when it comes to women officers?
It's not man or a woman issue. It's a question of daring. You've had boys, you had young men also dared and who also suffered. You've had daring as a concept, daring as a behavior suffered. You've had honesty, courage and daring suffered, man or a woman.
Ma'am, also, what kind of a message is the government sending across when they transfer an officer who comes out with an expose like this, rather than Sasikala being from that prison and an impartial probe taking place, the first thing they do is to transfer the officer?
Well, the message is fall in line. Do not change do not question the status quo. Check with us before you say. Check with us before you read, and accept the way things are. Don't stand out of line. Don't get out of step, and don't communicate. The key is communication. Don't communicate. Don't dare speak out. Let things be. And if there's corruption, so be it. So please, and don't speak against your seniors. I think that's a larger message. Why don't you accept things as they are? Who's asking you to change? I think these are the questions. Who's asking you to change? When we don't want to change, who's asking you to change?
Ma'am, before I let you go, my last question to you, of course, is this the time that the people in service, the IS, IPS lobby should also come together to protect such whistleblowers? Because we have seen time and again, be it the case of Ashok Khemka, be it the case of D. Rupa, we have seen it time and again that these officers feel isolated, they are put in a corner, the government and the system pushes them absolutely to the brink.
No, we don't have an association system. It's more of a social network rather than an intervention network. So we do not have an interventionist network. We only have a social network of associations, whether it be the IPS or the IAS or the others. So they're very good social networks.
But shouldn't they be openly supporting such officers, ma'am?
No, they don't. Nobody dares to do that. Because whoever questions will be on the firing line in the next bout. Therefore, these associations are more of social networks, more of social media, more of WhatsApp groups, more of Google groups, and not interventionists as such.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for speaking to us here on India Today and sharing your views. Of course, as D. Rupa also said, I mean, she's getting a lot of inspiration and courage, getting support from you and from many people across the country who now see, and of course, a call is now going across the country for D. Rupa, of course, to be reinstated and the government to take back the action that they have taken. Thank you so much, Kiran Bedi, for speaking to us here on India Today. Well, after she paid a heavy price for honesty, DIG D. Rupa spoke exclusively to India Today, assuring that she will keep fighting for the truth. DIG Rupa further said she stands by her report. Listen in to this India Today exclusive.
I'm joined by DIG Rupa. Thank you so much for talking exclusively to India Today, ma'am. The question now that is being posed is that you've been transferred. How do you see your transfer at this time?
Yes, I've been transferred. It's part and parcel of the government job. I will follow orders. Give me some breather time.
But looking at the way things have worked out, you have so much of support that has come from various quarters. Also, Kiran Bedi has been tweeting in your support. You have also seen how social campaigns have started. How do you read into this, that the support is there, but with your senior who you reported to at that point, but at that time, he's saying that it's being basically it's not fair.
No, I feel happy about the support, and I feel, really blessed and good. I feel inspired and motivated.
Do you think it was a witch hunt?
See, I didn't feel any pressure throughout anywhere. That is the truth. Maybe I don't feel the pressure, I as a person. So,
Mr. Satyanarayana Rao also said Okay, then my last question to you. My last question to you: do you stand by your report?
Yes, I stand by my report.
With all the evidence and all the video, because you said that these are clearly the evidences that what is happening within Bangalore Central Jail.
I stand by my report, and there is evidence.
When you're open to a probe by a former IAS officer also?
I won't comment on any such thing, please. It wouldn't be proper on my part.
So very clearly here, she's open to any sort of probe and she stands by her report. And clearly what DIG Rupa is also saying is that she's ready to take up any posting as of now. She did her job as a police officer. With Cameron Shimurthy, Roni Swami in Bengaluru for India Today.
All right, India Today has accessed 3 reports of DIG D. Rupa Mudgil on the irregularities in the Parapana Agarahara Central Prison in Bengaluru, the same jail in which Sasikala Natarajan is lodged in the disproportionate asset case. We have now DIG Rupa's jail notings dated 28 June 2017, in which she reviews her visit to the prison. She gave a clean sheet to the jail officials and said in her inspection report to maintain the same levels of security. Rupa then submits her first report on June 29th on how doctor was attacked inside the prison. It is after this the DIG submitted her first damning report on July 12th, exposing Sasikala and stamp paper convict Abdul Karim Telgi and the special favors provided to these prisoners. On July 15th, Rupa submits her second report giving out details of evidence on special facilities provided to convicts including Sasikala, and within these days things changed in the prison is what DIG reports suggest.
You stand by your report?
Yes, I stand by my report.
With all the evidence and all the video, because you said that these are clearly the evidences that what is happening within Bangalore Central Jail.
I stand by my report, and there is evidence.
So what does she have in her room? Can you tell us?
It is only the normal 10 into 15 room with a toilet and toilet that is there in everybody's room, and she is having provided with a small TV and also beds where SA prisoners can have their own bedding and clothing. That's all. And university, because she's taking 18 tablets per day, she's advised by medical doctor to provide a cot because on medical grounds she has got. That's all. Shashikala sleeps on the floor.
Well, two conflicting views there of the former jail in charge and also the former DIG prison. Well, Nolan Pinto, my colleague, is now joining me on the broadcast. Nolan, it's bizarre, these visuals that we have put out. The CCTV footage, Sasikala in a silk salwar kameez taking a stroll there, and she has a shopping bag. I mean, I didn't know that there is a shopping mall or a complex there inside the prison. What are the authorities saying now?
Well, the authorities are currently tight-lipped after all these exposés that came out, especially after D. Rupa's first report and the visuals that have come out showing the five-star lifestyle that V. Shashikala along with her aides are enjoying in the Parapana Agrahara Central Prison. Now the authorities are tight-lipped. D. Rupa this morning took over her new posting as the Commissioner for Transport and Road Safety. In fact, we were there in the morning when she just arrived, and nothing. She didn't speak anything as such. She only went on to add that she's come over here because she's transferred, she's taking over her new post, and also she wanted to mention about Kiran Bedi. She said that, I just want to repeat what she said. She says, I am very thankful to Madam Kiran Bedi. She is a crusader and her support from her is very invaluable for her, and that I'm very thankful for that. So she knows what's happening over there. She knows that she has solid support.
Yes.
We also met the Director General and Inspector General of Police, and he said that one must not see this as a punishment posting for her because it's a very important post and the government has given her responsibility. But all in all, a whistleblower cop has been transferred because she exposed the wrongdoings in the central prison.
Absolutely an important posting given to her only after she did what was expected of her from her previous posting. Bizarre logic there by the officials. In fact, there's a breaking news coming in. Let's quickly slip into that. Day 2 of the monsoon session of the Parliament got off to a stormy start. Why? All because of BSP Supremo Mayawati, who has now quit.
मुझे अपनी बात रखने का सत्ता पक्ष मौका नहीं दे रहा है, मुझे बोलने नहीं दिया जा रहा है, तो मैंने आज राज्यसभा से इस्तीफा देने का फैसला लिया, हाउस में भी कहा, और अभी मैं माननीय सभापति जी को अपना इस्तीफा देकर आ रही हूँ. डिटेल में मैं इस डिटेल में चिट्ठी में लिखा है.
Rahul Srivastava, National Affairs Editor, India Today, is now joining me live for more on this. Rahul, the Parliament session, at least the second day, lived up to the expectation. We were expecting a lot of drama, and Mayawati was at the center stage of that drama. Now, just take us through the technicalities of this. Why will, her resignation, if accepted, would be, or else what we are hearing is that possibly it won't be accepted. Why?
Ankit, at the time when Mayawati was threatening to resign, right around that time, Venkaiah Naidu, the BJP's nominee, was going to file his nomination. So Venkaiah Naidu must have been keeping an eye on it because he knows that he's going to inherit a very tumultuous house. The second very important element, Mayawati stormed off in a very visible move which she wants her constituency in Uttar Pradesh and other places to really see that on the issues of atrocities against Dalits, inaction by state government, Mayawati stormed off after making a threat that she is going to resign. After making a threat, she came back to the house to come good on her threat.
Yes.
She has resigned with a 3-page letter. Now, what does it really mean? The signal from Mayawati is that if there is going to be atrocities on Dalits in Uttar Pradesh, the state government led by the BJP remains inactive. She is going to make the ultimate sacrifice by resigning from the Rajya Sabha. Now, let's do a reality check. Mayawati became a member of this house in April 2012. Now, in April 2012 means that she has got a 6-year term, which ends in April 2018. That means she has got 2 sessions left, not a really big deal. So it's a sacrifice which she can which is worth making. Interestingly, in the last election for the assembly, her party got 19 seats. She's not in a position to come back on her own. That is why it's a very good opportunity politically for Mayawati to stomp off, resign from the post and send out a signal to the voters in Uttar Pradesh, especially to the Dalits, that she is still fighting for them.
Absolutely. Send out a message when there is nothing much to lose, of course. That's what Mayawati has done, as Rahul Srivastava has put that story in perspective for our viewers. Thank you so much, Rahul, for joining us with all those details. With that, it's a wrap on this bulletin. Coming up next, To The Point, with my colleague Anjana Om Kashyap.